Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. This is Rustam, and this is my second lecture for the course Applied Linguistics. As I often inform my viewers at the start of the video, that this course is being taught at University of Hazara and Aptabad University of Science and Technology to be a student in 7th semester. Second point that I would like to mention is that while watching this video, if you feel that the quality of the video is not good or it is blurred, so you are requested to go to the right top corner. If you are watching it on your smartphone, you will see three dots, and click those three dots, and there will be an option for quality enhancement. So just move the pixel to the higher digit. If it is 480, then move it to 720, etc. And if you are watching it on a laptop or a desktop computer, then just on the lower bar to the right of the window pane, there is a setting button and adjust the video quality. In my first lecture on applied linguistics, I contrasted linguistics with applied linguistics. There were few subtle differences which I mentioned in my first video, and then I mentioned few areas in which applied linguistics is implicated. Applied linguistics actually does the role of decision making. Whenever there are controversies, whenever there are debates, whenever there are quarrels, then it is applied linguistics which comes in to negotiate and mediate. Critical discourse analysis is a very important branch of applied linguistics, and the screenshot which you are just seeing, it is based upon Guy Cook's book Introduction to Applied Linguistics. So if you want to read yourself, you are requested to read Guy Cook's book on applied linguistics. And now a very important authority on this very important field, CDA, critical discourse analysis, is Norman Fairclough, and he has extensively written on this important topic. Anyhow, now what is a CDA? As I just mentioned, it is a branch of applied linguistics. So why do we need it, and what is the role it plays? Actually, there are some uses of language seek to control and influence our ideas in the service of some vested political or commercial interest. So later on, I'm going to explain what are the commercial interests or what are the political interests in which language is used by some vested groups. In my first lecture, I mentioned the Urdu phrase "Pado Farsi, becho tel." So such phrases, such words are used by politically motivated groups who want to marginalize another group. So what does CDA do? CDA just unravels such language. Such uses of language are explained to the readers. Okay, and so sinister uses of language are uncovered by the CDA. Okay, so this is a kind of manipulation. So language is manipulated, rather the readers are manipulated in order to advance some vested interest. Whatever I am right now saying, all this will be explained with the help of examples as this video progresses. Okay, now here is another important sentence which I have taken up from Guy Cook's book, that there are other more subtle ways of using language to influence and mislead us. So later on, I'm going to give you some examples how we are influenced, how our consent is manufactured. Even if we don't want something, but we are brought to that particular thing. Okay, and thus we are misled. And CDA critically analyzes and evaluates such language. Okay, now another important sentence from the same book, let me read it for you, We are assailed at every turn by carefully crafted words seeking to attract our attention, win over our support, or change our behavior. So, what is carefully crafted words? These words, uh, definitely I'm going to explain with examples when I move ahead. So, unless our reader is sensitized to such language or such discourse, he or she will be misled, and his or her behavior will be changed by the language used by some vested interest. So let me give you some examples. Now, some people present the same facts, but they use some different vocabulary. Let me read. The same facts are presented in which, while not altering the truth of what is said, nevertheless influence and are perhaps calculated to influence the reader's attitude. Now, see, instead of saying 10% fat, if there is a product in which on which it is written 10% fat, it means the customer may not buy it. So in order to influence, in order to kind of change or modify his behavior, so the commercial people write 90% fat free, 90% fat free. Now the same fact is being what should I described in two different ways. One is 10% fat. This sentence indicates that there is fat in this product, there is fat in this product, and the amount of fat is 10%. But the sentence written above this one, this attracts the attention of the customer, because he or she is going to immediately buy the product because it is written that it is 90% fat free. So this is a very subtle way or a sinister use of language. Now here, if you happen to visit a market, on the signboard or on the facade of the shop, it will be written free. So the client gets to the shop when he or she notices this free. But when he or she gets closer to the shop, then he or she notices 10%, that is only 10% free. But let's say the meal is being offered, and you are passing by the shop, and you just look from a distance, it is written free. So you are in the need of some food, or you want something, so you just immediately rush towards the shop because it is written free. But when you get closer, it is written 10% free. It means that it is not free, you have to pay 90%. So here is another sinister use of language. We have to educate our readers that language can be used to manipulate, to exploit. Now here is another example. See this sentence for a commercial purpose. Price Rs 4,999 rupees. Actually it is 5,000. You can see only one rupee has been deducted from it. But the customer who notices this sentence 5,000, he or she may not come to the shop because he thinks that the product being sold is very expensive and costly. But when he sees this is 4,000, so he immediately buys it. Later on, there is not much difference. So here this statement tells that the facts are the same. Okay, facts are the same, but they are presented in a way that influences your attitudes towards the product. Hope you have got how the language is used in a very important way. Now the role of CDA is to uncover manipulation and to empower those who are being manipulated. So while you are learning a language at school or at university, So it is the role of critical discourse analysts that he or she should guide you that how you are being manipulated, and in a way he or she is going to empower you, so that in practical life you must know that whatever is being written, whatever is being offered through language is not as it appears to be. There must be some crafty conspiracy behind. So critical discourse analysis, CDA, empowers readers towards such sinister uses of language. Okay, we need to, here is another sentence from the same book. We need to critically evaluate such discourse. Discourse means language. Unless we do it, we will not be able to combat the hegemonic powers. Hegemonic powers mean those who want to, impose hegemony, जिसको हम उर्दू में कहते हैं, जो अपनी बदमाशी हमारे ऊपर नाफज करना चाहते हैं, जो इस तरह की हेजमोनिक पावर्स होती हैं. सो वी हैव टू बी एबल, वी हैव टू बी armed, we have to have these powers to combat such hegemonic powers. And how can we be equipped to combat or to fight back if we already know that language can be used to manipulate, and the phrase or the sentence or the word which we are reading or listening to can have hidden meaning, it may have hidden agenda. So if we are already prepared through critical discourse analysis, so we will be able to combat the hegemonic powers. Now here is another phrase, that in our contemporary information society, because we are living in a digital age, information is just rushing towards us. We are being engulfed by the waves of information. So in our contemporary information society, the need both to understand and to combat such language uses has become particularly pressing. So if like our students, our children, they visit Google, they read lot of web pages, okay, they even sit in front of television screens in which language is being directed at them. So if they are not sensitized, if they are not empowered, so what happens? They are going to be influenced. Their consent will be manufactured, even if they don't possess a particular attitude. By listening to specially crafted words again and again, they are going to be influenced and their opinion will be manufactured. Now let me give you an example of Lady Macbeth's speech. If you have read this Shakespearean tragedy Macbeth, so Macbeth, a plot summary is that Macbeth is given a prophecy by three witches that he is going to be made Thane of Cawdor, and soon he will become king. So when he releases this news, when he reaches home, he definitely gets the title of Thane of Cawdor, and he thinks that if this prophecy has proven true, why not another one, that is he is going to be king. So he releases this news to his wife Lady Macbeth, and Lady Macbeth convinces him that whatever witches have said is true. So he has just been made Thane of Cawdor, so he can easily become the king. So he invites king at home, King Duncan at home, and under the pursuance of Lady Macbeth, he kills King Duncan. Now he has a remorse. He thinks that he has done a wrong deed, and he shouldn't have done this. Now see the language, note the language being spoken by Lady Macbeth. Now there's a very impressive speech given by Lady Macbeth, and the opening line is, "What's done is done." Okay. Now see when she closes the speech and she says, what's done cannot be undone. So you have killed King Duncan, now it cannot be reversed. So both the sentences literally mean the same thing, but the effect is very different. You know, uh, here it expresses remorse on the part of Lady Macbeth, but here it's just a rude statement, opening statement, that what's done is done. Don't think about it. But when she notices that Macbeth is very worried over the gruesome act he has just done, so towards the close of her speech she says politely that Macbeth, what's done cannot be undone. Okay, so literally the same meaning, but the effect is very different. So this is the crafty use of language. So it is in precise analysis of such detail that a real contribution can be made to people's capacity to read and listen critically and to resist being manipulated by what is said. So, if you are reading this play by Shakespeare and you are already empowered, you already know that language can be used in a in a sinister way. So, you will immediately get at the gist of the meaning. If you remember Antony's speech in Julius Caesar, so Antony again and again uses a phrase, yes, they are honorable senators, they are honorable men. I'm talking about people who collectively killed Brutus and gave it the name of, and he was like, they said that they killed Brutus, sorry, they killed Julius Caesar, in order to defend democracy. So, and Antony was close friend of Julius Caesar, so he was won over by the party, and he said that he would like to make a speech over the corpse of this Julius Caesar, and they allowed. But later on, in order to influence the audience, he gradually used the word honorable men. So this is how you manufacture the consent, how you win over the support of someone. Now I'm going to give you a few examples of sinister use of language. Okay, now merger of opinion with fact. This is one of the very important use of language for in sinister uses. Like you see, if you listen to news bulletin on BBC or CNN, so if the Western countries, if they want to, if they want to bring into disrepute some government, so instead of saying government of let's say Saddam Hussein or government of someone, they will say regime. So regime, the word regime has some negative connotation. So although they are synonymous terms in a way, but it is a strong term. So if someone is fighting for freedom, instead of saying freedom fighter, a combatant, so political people or the broadcasting companies will use the word terrorist. Okay, Muslim terrorist. So the you must have heard this term Muslim terrorist. So why they are using the word Muslim terrorist? Why not Muslim freedom fighter? But this is a very sinister use of the term. So goes with the term murder. Instead of saying killing, which is a soft term, the strong word is used murder. So this is how language is used. Actually, the fact is mingled with opinion. So more subtle choices of vocabulary include reference to some countries by name and others by their inhabitants. Let's say CNN is reporting something. So if CNN is in favor of Spain, so they will use Spain. Okay, and Spain has complained to the Russians, as Russia is an enemy to America. So an American newscaster will say Russians. ओके, स्पेन ने रूसियों को शिकायत की है, रूसियों को. सो द टर्म रूसी is, has got negative connotation. So this is a sinister use of language. That is, the country that is in favor is being mentioned by name, and the community or the nation that is against will be mentioned as inhabit by the inhabitants, regions. It can be for anyone else. It is it I just don't want to say that it is only Americans they will be using such a language, but any country who wants to malign some other country or is not in favor of that country, that this may be used in a subtle way. Now here is another important device, grammatical device, in order to modify the attitude of the people. So what is grammatical device? Persistent patterns of grammatical choice such as passivization and nominalization. Let me give you an example. Now see the effect of two sentences. One is passive. 5 children were killed in air attack. Now see, the pilot killed 5 children. Which one is the strongest? Which one indicates brutality? This one, the sentence written in red color. This is active voice sentence. So instead of saying the pilot killed 5 children, so people who are listening to this news bulletin, people who are reading this news in a newspaper, they will immediately think in a harsh term about the pilot. In order to relieve pilot of this criticism, so passive structure is being used and pilot is not being mentioned. So only the fact is being stated: 5 children were killed in an air attack. Who killed them? So the person is not being mentioned. Here's another example. Genetic codification is a powerful technique. Now this is a hidden meaning. Another actual sentence is: researchers who modify genes are very powerful people. Actually, people who are creating genes, that is, who are modifying genes, like they are creating humans by modifying, because this codification of genes is not allowed in different regions, and that we are not supposed to meddle with the creation of Allah Almighty. But as in order to avoid criticism from religious authorities, this language is being used, that genetic codification is a powerful technique. Actually, actual sentence was this: researchers who modify genes are very powerful. So effect is different when you use nominalization like genetic codification. This subject or this noun is being used in order to avoid criticism. Now here is another sentence: redundancies will be announced. Now the actual word is: the owners of a firm will be firing people. That is downsizing. If this sentence is used, there will be lot of criticism. Okay, so in order to avoid this criticism, so the word redundancies will be announced is being used. Okay, so see, first is passivization, that this is a passive sentence, and second is this nominalization, this subject or this noun, which is people may not be very harsh, and if this straightforward sentence is used, the owners will be firing people, there will be lot of criticism. So see the sinister use of language in the above sentence, this sentence. So all this can be unraveled only by CDA, critical discourse analysis. So it is the job of critical discourse analysts or the applied linguists who are going to point out or analyze all this sinister use of language. Now another technique is obfuscation, okay, or obscurity. This is particularly used by the people who work in law, language of law, and bureaucracy. So bureaucracy is in the habit of using very difficult terminology. They avoid speaking plainly. So they usually they don't use straightforward language, because if you have had a chance to read a legal document, you will come to know that language is quite difficult, and like a judicial stamp paper in Pakistani courts usually has these phrases, by se tarir anke. Okay, the reason of writing this receipt, man mukir, that is I certify. It is a Persian terminology. Free ke awwal o asani. So people who write judicial stamp papers, because they charge rupees 150 or 200, so what are they charging for the clients, I mean? So they are using such obscure phrases, and behind the screen of these phrases they have some commercial interest. Same is the case with legal documents, and the barristers and lawyers, they use very technical language. So let me read. Another clever use of language is, so language is being, let me let me yes, language is being used as a screen, and its obscurity is functioning to guard the vested interest from the democratic scrutiny. The use of specialized language to overawe and intimidate. Overawe, किसी को बहुत ज़्यादा मुतासर करना, इंटिमिडेट, डरा के रखना. जैसे क्लाइंट्स जाते हैं इन लोगों के पास जो स्टाम्प पेपर लिखते हैं, तो वो उसके अंदर इस तरह के वर्ड्स लिखते हैं, हामले रोका हाजा, फ्री क्या बोलो सानी, बायस तरीर आंकी, एट्सेट्रा. So actually this obfuscation, this obscurity is purposefully introduced, because they are charging money. So the client knows that he or she can't write such phrases, so he or she comes to visits these shops and these people, and they get paid. So in a competitive and dangerous world, being able to understand and to assess the information we receive and motives and interest of those who are giving it to us is of essential importance. This is the last advice from Guy Cook, and he says that we are living in a competitive world, okay, and it's a dangerous world, okay, and a lot of competition, lot of information. So if we are able to understand and assess the information we receive, okay, and then the motives and interest of the people who are giving us this information, it's very essential and important. And if we don't do this, we will be manipulated, we will be influenced, our behavior will be modified and changed. So dear students, if you want to further explore this topic, critical discourse analysis, you need to read Norman Fairclough, and he has an authority on critical discourse, and he I think has used the word manufacturing of consent. So please, Guy Cook's book is just pithy one, and it doesn't go into detail. It just warms up you towards different issues related to language, applied linguistics. So for a fair study, an in-depth study, you need to. Okay, so by the way, language is used in order to influence our attitudes and our opinion. People use phrases, and gradually, like in Urdu we use the term wasle jahannam, when as we are against Indians. So whenever we have to mention killing of Indian soldiers, we say 4 Indians, 4 हिंदुस्तानियों को वास्ले जहन्नम कर दिया गया. And for ourselves, we use the term शहीद, पाकिस्तानी फ़ौजियों को शहीद कर दिया गया. इसी तरह जब इंडियन मीडिया रिपोर्ट करता है हमारे बारे में, तो वो जो हमारे फ्रीडम फाइटर हैं कश्मीर में, उनके बारे में वो कहता है घुस बैठिए, या पाकिस्तानी फ़ौजी अगर वहाँ पे हैं या कुछ मुजाहिदीन वहाँ पे चले गए हैं तो हम मुजाहिदीन कहते हैं और वो उनको कहते हैं घुस बैठिए. So every country uses language, makes a special use of language in order to further their interest. The interest can be political, interest can be religious, interest can be commercial. So the job of the CDA, critical discourse analysis, is that such discourse or such language has to be evaluated critically, and readers should be empowered so that when they are reading such language or they are listening to such language, they should be critically aware of the hidden agenda. Thank you very much. Now I will bring another video and I'll explain another topic related to applied linguistics. So this was one area in which applied linguistics is implicated. Thank you very much.